Hello. Here we are live once again, hopefully without the packet loss issues that we had last week. And there's a beam of light across the front of me for some reason. That's interesting. Anyway, hope you're doing okay. If you're tuning in on this later, I should say, then feel free to take a look at it's annoying. Why is it doing that? Anyway, whatever. Look in the description. I will put a timestamp for when it is. I'm going to start that whole sentence again. If in the future you're watching this when it's no longer a live video and it's just a normal YouTube video, look in the description and I will put a timestamp to where the quiz questions begin. Because otherwise there's like 5 minutes of waffle at the beginning while I'm getting all this posted. Speaking of which, I need to copy it to the Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. Okay, posting to the Facebook page, posting to the event. Right, good, that's that done. Hello, those of you who've tuned in. I was running some tests before. I wasn't getting packet loss like I was last week, so hopefully that will all be fine this week and we won't have the problems we had last week. If you've tuned in, hello. Let me know if you can hear me through my microphone. My blue light is on. Why is it flipping down like that? And I will post in a few other little places where I like to post about new things. We'll be starting in about 7 minutes from now, I think. About 35 past is when we start. So welcome if you're tuning in. We're going to be starting in a few minutes while I just spam everything around. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Where else do I need to post it? One other place. Okay. Hello, listener number 4. Hello, Carmen. John's just racing through the dishes. Fair enough. I think we might have a reasonably busy night tonight. I did the usual Facebooky stuff, so hopefully that will turn into a few more regulars tuning in, or a few more people tuning in and possibly becoming regulars. So I'm just spamming the link around in a few places. Okay, cool. Hello, Pierre. All right, so quite a few people have tuned in. We're going to be starting at about 7:35 p.m. AEST. All right, yes. Hello, Narelle, and presumably Stephen. So yep, starting in about 5 minutes. Feel free to grab a drink or a snack or whatever in the meantime. Tonight I am drinking, I can't even work out what they've written on the can. I'm drinking Corey's Claim. It's got like a gorilla's hand around it. I went to a sort of fancy bottle shop the other day that had lots of craft beers. And I said, do you have any craft dark beers? And he said, yes, we do. So, hello, Andrew. I will explain how it works in just a moment. So the short answer is no, there isn't an answer sheet. You're basically just playing against yourself or against the quiz. So you can just write down the answers yourself or do them in your mind or just Google them or whatever you like. So the way it works is I just give 20 questions and then I give the answers and then another 20 questions and then another set of answers. And like I say, you're basically just marking yourself. That way, it doesn't matter if 5 people tune in or 500 people tune in. Yeah, you don't need to be the fastest typer in the comments or anything like that. So hopefully that works. And let me know where you heard about the quiz, Andrew. I'm assuming you heard about it on Facebook. I've done a terrible job of pouring that beer. It's super frothy. Hello, Kim, Meg, and Paul, and Pierrot, and Daff. You heard it on Facebook. All right. Yes, Daff, I didn't go to a chain store. I went to I think they're a fairly independent little, I think they're affiliated with one of the sort of chains, but they're not one of the big ones. And they've got the guy's name. It's like Bob's Liquor or something. I can't remember. Right. So, yes, we'll be starting about 7:35. Nice to see lots of people tuning in. So it's about 3 minutes to go. I'll just so you know how it works. This is basically pub trivia, what I would normally do on a Tuesday night, except, of course, there's limitations on going to pubs at the moment, thanks to COVID. So the way this works, you don't need to be the fastest typist in the room. You don't need to type the answers into the comments. In fact, we prefer it if you don't type the answers into the comments. You just keep track of the answers yourself and basically playing against yourself or against your friends if you organized it in advance. G'day, Lauren. Yeah. So there's going to be 3 rounds. The first round is 20 questions of relatively easy trivia. Not super easy, but relatively easy. The second round, and then I'll give you the answers to the first round. And then we'll have another round of 20 questions of less easy trivia. And I'll give you the answers to those. And then we'll have our final round, which is 10 questions. And round 3 is basically our silly / very difficult / trick question round. If you get any points in round 3, you're doing pretty well. So don't feel bad if you only get 1 or 2 points in round 3. That's just the place I put all the questions that don't really fit into the normal rounds for whatever reason, usually just because they're cripplingly obscure. Okay, hello, Pierrot. I think I did say hello before. Hello, Elated Matt. And hello, Ads. So it's 7:34. We'll be starting very soon. I should really open up my list of questions, shouldn't I? That would be a good thing to do. Okay, that can go over there. That can go over there. Too many windows. Okay. I'll put the Facebook page up over there for people who are asking questions on the page, as often happens. Okay, if you do want to be informed of future events, go to the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, or subscribe to this YouTube channel, or just tune in a little bit before 7:30 on a Tuesday night. Hello, Caroline. All righty. Hopefully we don't have the internet issues we had last week. Good to see quite a few people have tuned in already. So yeah, just to clarify for the new players, you don't need to type the answers into the chat. You just have a piece of paper or something and keep track of the answers yourself as I ask the questions. And then at the end of each round, I'll give you the answers and you can score yourself. You can let us know how you went in the comments. Or you can Google every answer as we go along. It really doesn't matter, as long as you have fun. Having said all that, it's 7:35, so we should probably get started with round 1, question 1. Hello, Milo. So round 1, question 1. In the Star Wars films, what is the name of Han Solo's ship? Round 1, question 1. In the Star Wars films, what is the name of Han Solo's ship? I think he won it from Lando Calrissian, didn't he? If I remember my Star Wars lore. Okay, question 2. Australian chocolate makers Darryl Lee recently announced they were changing the recipes of more than 100 of their products to remove which ingredient? So round 1, question 2. Australian chocolate makers Darryl Lee recently announced they were changing the recipes of more than 100 of their products to remove which ingredient? It was in the news about 3 or 4 days ago, I guess. Cheers. Question 3. According to the Chinese zodiac, 2020 is the year of which animal? Question 3. According to the Chinese zodiac, 2020 is the year of which animal? The Chinese New Year happens in late January, early February, depending on the year. So we'll take the year that it became in February. Simone says, lousiest animal of all. Yes, I have to say, 2020 has not been a great year. Understatement of the century. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Question 4. And hello, Simone, by the way. Question 4. According to the nursery rhyme Bar Bar Black Sheep, where does the little boy live? Round 1, question 4. According to the nursery rhyme Bar Bar Black Sheep, where does the little boy live? Hello to everybody who's tuned in. Just to clarify, you don't need to type the answers into the chat window. You can just keep track of your answers yourself. And at the end of the round, I'll give you the answers and you can mark yourself. Question 5 of round 1. What is the name of the loud plastic horn which came to the world's attention during the 2010 FIFA World Cup? Round 1, question 5. What is the name of the loud plastic horn which came to the world's attention during the 2010 FIFA World Cup? Yes, 2016 was the previous worst year, I think. Well, I mean, not really, when you consider some of the major events that have happened in history. But certainly at the time in 2016, we were all saying, oh, this is the worst year ever. All these terrible things are happening. All these celebrities are dying. We had no idea what was coming. Anyway, question 6. Stop touching your face. DCI Tom Barnaby is a central character in which TV show? Question 6. DCI Tom Barnaby is a central character in which TV show? That is a sporting reference, Pierre, so I have no idea what you're talking about. The Swans lost the grand final. Question 6 we just had. Question 7. The 1984 Father's Day Massacre took place in which southwestern suburb of Sydney? Question 7. The 1984 Father's Day Massacre took place in which southwestern suburb of Sydney? 1984 was the year that I came to Australia. And I remember that being a very big news story, as you would imagine. Anyway, question 7 was the 1984 Father's Day Massacre. It's often named after the place where it occurred. Took place in which southwestern suburb of Sydney? It's tempting to give a bonus point for that one. I'll give a bonus point if you can tell me the name of the 2 motorcycle gangs involved in that massacre. Just let me check that that I'm not defaming anybody by saying that there were 2 motorcycle gangs involved. Yes, okay, there were. Yeah, so question 7 is the 1984 Father's Day Massacre took place in which southwestern suburb of Sydney? And you can have 1 bonus point if you tell me the name of the 2 motorcycle gangs or motorcycle clubs involved. All right, question 8. It's multiple choice. Which of these types of clouds is highest in the atmosphere? Is it A, cirrostratus, B, altostratus, or C, stratocumulus? So question 8, multiple choice. Which of these types of clouds is highest in the atmosphere? A, cirrostratus, that's C-I-R-R-O stratus, or B, altostratus, A-L-T-O stratus, or C, stratocumulus? Someone says, not defaming, it was in the news. Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to make sure I had the facts correct and that they were generally accepted facts. Not that I think I'll be sued for defamation, although you never know. New South Wales is a bit of a dodgy area for defamation. But anyway, question 9. What is the name of the rag doll in the children's TV show Play School? So round 1, question 9. What is the name of the rag doll in the children's TV show Play School? Question 10. In which fictional Earth city does Superman live? Question 10. In which fictional Earth city does Superman fictionally live? Question 11. Which building has the street address 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Question 11. Which building has the street address 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? It's very quiet in the comments. Everyone's thinking hard about fictional cities. Question 12. Beginning with K for kilo. What is the Russian word for a castle or fortress? Question 12, beginning with K for kilo. What is the Russian word for a castle or fortress? Thinking hard or hardly thinking? Yes. All right, that's a very frothy beer. I should really have a napkin here. Anyway, what are we up to? Question 13. Which rapper and MC died from injuries sustained in a drive-by shooting on September the 7th, 1996? Question 13. Which rapper and MC died from injuries sustained in a drive-by shooting on September the 7th, 1996? Which reminds me, I have not done my who am I question, but that's okay. I can do that now. You won't even notice, except that I just announced it. Question 14. Which girl's name is the correct name, is also, I should say, the correct name for a female donkey? Question 14. Which girl's name is also the correct name for a female donkey? And I don't just mean a nice thing to call your female donkey. I mean, this, when you use this word, you are referring to a female, the female of the donkey species. You know what I mean. So question 14, which girl's name is also the correct name for a female donkey? I need to open up this other document, which is in here. Right, question 15. What is the name of the highest mountain in New Zealand? Is it a first geography question? I think so. What is the name of the highest mountain in New Zealand? I'm wondering if it has a Maori name. It probably does, which I should probably accept. It does. I will accept. Well, it's got two names. It's got I guess you say an English name and a Maori name, and I will give 1 point for each of those names. So if you know the English name, that's good. If you know the Maori name, that's also good. So question 15 is, what is the name of the highest mountain in New Zealand? And I will give 1 point for the English name and 1 point for the Maori name. Question 16. What is the name of Bambi's rabbit friend? From the film, I would say. Question 16. What is the name of Bambi's rabbit friend? Question 17. What is the main ingredient in the Indian side dish raita? R-A-I-T-A. Question 17. What is the main ingredient in the Indian side dish raita? R-A-I-T-A. It's very quiet in the comments for the first round, I have to say. Hopefully the sound is working fine. We don't have the network issues that we had last week. I'm not getting the message from YouTube saying your connection is no good, so I assume it's all working well. Question 18. Which trophy is awarded to the winner of the Rugby World Cup? Question 18. Which trophy, or what's the name of the trophy, is awarded to the winner of the Rugby World Cup? Simone says the connection is great this week. Well, that's good. It was a bit annoying last week. But we've weathered various tribulations over the weeks of this quiz. We've had spammers and trolls. We've had internet connection issues. We've had arguments about the national language of Belgium. It's all been going on. Much better than last week, says Caroline. That's good to hear. All right, question 19, getting towards the end of the first round. For half a point each, what are the names of the 3 tiny bones in the middle ear of humans, I should say? So question 19 for half a point each. That's right, you can get 1.5 points for this question. For half a point each, what are the names of the 3 tiny bones in the middle ear? They have Latin names, but they also have more common English names. Either of those is fine. So question 19, for half a point each, what are the names of the 3 tiny bones in the middle ear? You often hear them referred to as a group. Basically, the 3 of them get referred. Okay, I'm confusing myself now. They have individual names, but they're often listed together. Okay, so each of the 3 tiny bones has a separate name. Give me the 3 names, get half a point each. Good, simple. And question 20, also for half a point each. According to the lyrics of the Right Said Fred song, the singer is too sexy for which 3 places in the world? So there's another 1.5 points there. Question 20, for half a point each. According to the lyrics of the Right Said Fred song, the singer is too sexy for which 3 places in the world? That brings us to the end of round 1. I'll give you a minute to think about those, and then we will go through the answers. Somebody has commented on the Facebook page. Okay. All right. Hasn't been a minute, but it's been a few seconds. We ready to go through the answers to round 1? Quite a few bonus points. Let's see if I can remember where I was handing them all out. So question 1 of round 1 was, in the Star Wars films, what is the name of Han Solo's ship? That is, of course, the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon. Question 2, Australian chocolate makers Darryl Lee are removing something from their products. The answer is palm oil. So the answer to question 2 is palm oil, and they're removing it because they're concerned about the effect that the industry has on the environment, particularly the habitats of orangutans. It's a pretty widely held concern, so good on them. So the answer to question 2 is palm oil. Question 3, according to the Chinese zodiac, 2020 is the year of which animal? No, it's not the dumpster fire. It is the rat. which sounds bad, but actually rats are seen as a sign of wealth and surplus, which I guess makes sense if you've got so much food that there's rats running around everywhere. Does that mean, yeah, anyway, rats, for whatever reason, are seen as a sign of wealth and surplus. They're also seen as symbols of fertility for fairly obvious reasons. Anyway, the answer to round 3 is the rat. Question 4, according to the nursery rhyme, Baa Baa Black Sheep, where does the little boy live? He lives down the lane. So the answer to question 4 is down the lane. Question 5, what's the name of the loud plastic horn? I'm sure you remember it well. It is the vuvuzela. Vuvuzela. The vuvuzela. It was so loud they had to make special noise cancelling software whenever they ran on the audio streams whenever they broadcast the World Cup matches, because you couldn't hear anything apart from those horns. Excuse me. Question 6, DCI Tom Barnaby is a central character in Midsummer Murders. The answer to question 6 is Midsummer Murders. Question 7, the 1984 Father's Day Massacre took place in which southwestern suburb of Sydney? That is Milperra. It's often referred to as the Milperra Massacre. And we had our first bonus point here, I think. I will give you a single bonus point if you mentioned the Banditos and the Comancheros. So the answer is Milperra, and you can have a bonus point if you mentioned both the Banditos and the Comancheros. Question 8. Which of these types of clouds is highest? Is it A, cirrostratus, B, altostratus, or C, stratocumulus? The answer is A, cirrostratus. They're the very thin, wispy ones, very high in the atmosphere. So the answer is A, cirrostratus. Question 9, what is the name of the rag doll in the children's TV show Play School? The answer is Jemima. Jemima, Jemima. Question 10, in which fictional Earth city does Superman live? It is Metropolis. It's pretty closely modeled on New York, I imagine, but the name of the city is Metropolis. Question 11, which building has the street address 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? It is the White House. So the answer to question 11 is the White House. Question 12, beginning with K, what's the Russian word for castle or fortress? Well, it's sort of related to the previous question. The answer is Kremlin. I think the Kremlin is where the Russian parliament sits, maybe. Certainly something to do with their government. And the word Kremlin simply means castle or fortress. So that's Kremlin. Question 13. Kremlin also means walled city. Well, there you go. Castle, fortress, walled city. It's all the vibe of the thing. Question 13. Which rapper and MC died from injuries sustained in a drive-by shooting on September 7th, 1996? That is Tupac Shakur. I guess there's a couple of options you could have had there. But on that date in that year, it was Tupac Shakur, or simply Tupac, I would accept, because he was commonly known simply as Tupac. Question 14, which girl's name is the correct name for a female donkey? That is a Jenny. 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 Question 15, what is the name of the highest mountain in New Zealand? So the answer I had was Mount Cook, which I guess is the English name for it, but I will give you a bonus point or another point if you had Aoraki, Aoraki, Aoraki. Pierre didn't remember the name, so he wrote down Mount Disappointment. I know there's a Lake Disappointment in Australia. Cool. So what was the answer? Where did we go? Question 15. So the answer was, well, you can have a point for Mount Cook and a point for Aoraki. Andrew wrote Mount Hutt. I think Mount Hutt is in New Zealand, but it is not the tallest. 2,190 meters, whereas Mount Cook is 3,724 meters. Okay, question 16. What is the name of Bambi's rabbit friend? The answer is Thumper. In the novel, it was called Friend Hare, H-A-R-E, but in the film, the character is called Thumper and used to bang his foot on the ground. Mount Disappointment is in Victoria. There you go. I know. Is it Lake Disappointment? I'm sure there's a Lake Disappointment which is called because it was a saline lake, so it was no good, basically, to the explorer who spent a long time finding it. Yes, there is a Lake Disappointment. It's in the Pilbara of Western Australia. Anyway, we're getting distracted. This happens a lot. You'll get used to it. So question 15 was Mount Cook, etc. Question 16 was Thumper. Question 17, what is the main ingredient in the Indian side dish raita? That is yogurt, or yogurt, if you are so inclined. But it's yogurt. I think it also has cucumber and other yummy stuff in it. But it's basically yogurt with stuff in it. So the main ingredient is yogurt. Question 18, which trophy is awarded to the winner of the Rugby World Cup? That is the Webb Ellis Cup. It's named after the alleged inventor of the sport. Sounds like it's somewhat contentious, but anyway, it's definitely called the Webb Ellis Cup. Okay, good. Some confusing comments happening. Question 19. For half a point each, what are the names of the 3 tiny bones in the middle ear in humans? They are most commonly known as the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup, but their Latin names are the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. Malleus, incus, and stapes, but of course I will accept hammer, anvil, and stirrup. And then to make it 3 points for the last 2 questions, 3 possible points. Question 20, half a point each. According to the lyrics of the Right Said Fred song, the singer is too sexy for which 3 places in the world? Excuse me, a Porto burp. Those 3 places are Milan, New York, and Japan. So the answer to question 20 is Milan, New York, and Japan. And that's the end of round 1. Let me know in the comments how you went. Not Flower Stephen, that's the skunk. Is that Bambi's friend? I can't even remember. Anyway, Caroline got 1 W. 12-point T. That's a very confusing score, Caroline. Okay, 12.5. Simone got 17. Narelle got 16. Stephen, 14.5. Pierre got 16. Had's got 12. Daff got 14.5. Andrew got 17. Pretty good for a newcomer. Lauren got 14.5. Elated Matt got 13.5. And Kim Pierre got 15. Right. Actually, that reminds me, Elated Matt, you inspired me with your talk of capers. I bought some capers the other day and I had them on a toasty. They were delicious. They certainly add a little something to an otherwise boring toasty. Parrot got 6. Pierre got 1.5. That can't be right. You got 1.5 for round 1. Surely not. I gotcha in round 2 last week. Okay, does that mean you had a second round collapse? Or anyway, we'll see how we go with round 2 this week. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Pierre and Lauren are competing against each other. Okay, I get it now. That's good. That's what I like to see. A bit of friendly competition. Well, let's see how you go in round 2, which is our imaginatively titled less easy round. Yes, I get that now, Lauren. I have figured out what's going on. It's all good. Carmen 8, John 12.5. Fair enough. Let's see how you go in round 2. Round 2, question 1. Mount Ainslie. How many mountain questions we got this week? Anyway, Mount Ainslie overlooks which Australian city? Question 1 of round 2. Mount Ainslie overlooks which Australian city? Narelle says, oh, we meant to keep it friendly. What you do in your own home is your own business. So round 2, question 1. Mount Ainslie overlooks which Australian city? Question 2. What word is given to a large gathering of scouts at a national or international level, generally every 4 years? Question 2. What word is given to a large gathering of scouts at a national or international level, generally every 4 years? I'm just wondering if there's another. Okay, there's possibly 2 answers to that. Anyway, that's fine. Question 3. Which Australian celebrity chef has several restaurants with the name Rockpool? Which Australian celebrity chef has several restaurants with the name Rockpool? Right, question 4. Which country has the 2-letter internet code DE, as in Australia has AU? So, yeah, Australia has the 2-letter internet code AU, as in .com.au. Which country has the 2-letter internet code DE? Question 5. What is next in this sequence? Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, what? Question 5. What is next in this sequence? Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, what? Right. Question 6. Since 1972, the Melbourne Cup has been run over what distance? So how long is the Melbourne Cup race? And for a bonus point, why did the distance change in 1972? So question 6, since 1972, the Melbourne Cup has been run over what distance? And for a bonus point, why did the distance change in 1972? I'll let you think about those for a minute while I do some Facebook housekeeping. Righto, question 7. The rib, the stretcher, the tube, the runner, and the ferrule are all parts of which protective device? Question 7. The rib, the stretcher, the tube, the runner, and the ferrule, Ferrule, are all parts of which protective device? Furiously Googling things. Question 8. In relation to terrorism or the military, what does IED stand for? Let's see if I can remember my NATO phonetic alphabet. What's I? Indigo? No, can't remember. Anyway, it's I for Ian, E for Echo, D for Delta. Answers on a postcard. What's the NATO phonetic alphabet for I? Is indigo, or India, depending on who you ask. All right, so question 8. In relation to terrorism or the military, what does IED stand for? India Echo Delta. No, Daff says indigo, and Simone says, no, it's India. I don't know. Maybe there's some... So it seems to be the NATO one, which I guess we're going to take, is India, but it was Indigo for a while, or in some other systems. Anyway, now we're just listing words beginning with I. Indonesia, Ireland, Iceland, Igloo. Okay, that's not helping. Okay, question 9. It's another mountain question. To the nearest 100 meters, how tall is Mount Everest above sea level? I'm going to make it easy-ish. I'm going to give you multiple choice. So to the nearest 100 meters, how tall is Mount Everest above sea level? Is it 8,800 meters, 9,900 meters, or 10,100 meters, by which I mean 10,100 meters? So is it 8,800 meters, 9,900 meters, or 10,100 meters? To the nearest 100 meters, how tall is Mount Everest above sea level? Elated Matt says, in Pakistan, Indigo or Italy replaces India because of ongoing conflicts with India. Well, there you go. I don't know why I had Indigo in my head then, because I've never been to Pakistan. So it must be used elsewhere as well. Anyway, question 10. Due to his success on a particular playing surface, tennis player Rafael Nadal is known as the king of what? Question 10. Due to his success on a particular playing surface, tennis player Rafael Nadal is known as the king of what? Yeah, that is interesting. It's similar to how in certain parts of the world they don't use the red cross, they use the red crescent, because in some parts of the world the cross is not a friendly symbol. It's not something you associate with peace. I'm not going to read that comment out. Okay, question 11. It's definitely a theme forming here. Question 11. What is the highest mountain outside Asia? So lots of high mountains are in Asia, but what is the highest mountain that is outside of Asia, but still on Earth? Don't be getting all Olympus Mons on Mars on me. So what is the highest mountain on Earth which is outside Asia? That's question 11. Question 12. What kind of animal was introduced to Australia in 1925 in an attempt to control the spread of prickly pear and tiger pear cacti? Just a general answer, just the type of animal. Question 14. In 1925, what kind of animal was introduced to Australia in an attempt to control the spread of prickly pear and tiger pear cacti? Question 13. Apia, APIA, is the capital of which Polynesian country? If you Google Apia, you get an insurance company. Question 11. What is... No, we had that already. Question 13. Apia, APIA, is the capital of which Polynesian country? Seem to be racing through round 2. Question 14. The Ponderosa Ranch, Ponderosa, Ponderosa, Ponderosa. The Ponderosa Ranch was the setting of which TV Western? It's going back a bit of a way. Question 14. The Ponderosa Ranch was the setting of which TV Western? Question 7 and question 9. Are you asking for them to be repeated? Question 7 was, the rib, the stretcher, the tube, the runner, and the ferrule are all parts of which protective device? And question 9 was, to the nearest 100 meters, how tall is Mount Everest above sea level? Is it 8,800 meters, 9,900 meters, or 10,100 meters? Okay, Question 15. What is the first line of Frank Sinatra's song New York, New York? And to clarify, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. So question 15, what is the first line of Frank Sinatra's song New York, New York? And I would like 7 words in that line, please. Okay, question 16. I thought this might even be a round 3 question, but we'll see how we go. Question 16. Which dock in Hobart is the rallying point and celebration area after yachts complete the Sydney to Hobart yacht race? So question 16. Which dock in Hobart, it has a particular name, is the rallying point and the celebration area after yachts complete the Sydney to Hobart yacht race? No worries, Kim. Question 17. What is the official currency of Malaysia? Question 17. What is the official currency of Malaysia? Question 18. In the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, what do his shipmates hang around the mariner's neck? Question 18. In the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, famous poem. You have to be careful because there's Samuel Taylor Coleridge and then there's Samuel Coleridge Taylor, 2 different people. One's a composer, one's a poet. Anyway, in The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, what do his shipmates hang around the mariner's neck? It's become a bit of a, I wouldn't say common phrase, but it's a well-known phrase. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. I had a little, I don't know, I got it like a, what do you call them? Like a sort of trash and treasure type shop, thrift shop. A little, tiny little sort of faux leather bound copy of it that I had as a kid. It was quite cool, but I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, but that line in particular stuck in my head. Maybe wrong, but anyway. Question 19. In which year were the Bali bombings in which 88 Australian tourists were killed? Question 19. In which year were the Bali bombings in which 88 Australian tourists were killed? I think it begins with, there is an ancient mariner and he stoppeth one of 3. Is that how it begins? I wonder if we'll have the... It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of 3. By thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stoppest thou me? Where's the water, water any bit? Anyway, we'll move on to the final question of round 2. Question 19 was, in which year were the Bali bombings in which 88 Australian tourists were killed? And question 20, for 1 point each, please name the 4 European capital cities whose names begin with the letter V for Victor. So question 20 for 1 point each. That's a lot of geography points on offer. Not looking at anyone in particular. Question 4 for 1 point each. Name the 4 European capital cities beginning with V for Victor. While I read through the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. Holy cow, I remembered it. correctly from being about 10 years old. All right. So I think we're ready to go through the answers to round 2. If you need any of those repeated, let me know. And if you don't, then I will get started on the answers. Stephen is loving the geography questions. I thought he might. If he knows his mountains, he'll be in good stead this week. It's all mountain questions. Speaking of which, here's the answers to round 2. Question 1 was Mount Ainslie looks over which Australian city? That is Canberra. Question 2. What word is given to a large gathering of scouts at a national, international level, generally every 4 years? The answer I have is a jamboree, but I believe, and a very quick Google makes me think that I am correct, that there is also such a thing as a moot, M-O-O-T, which is also held every 4 years and is organized by the World Organization of the Scout Movement. So I think I should probably accept the word jamboree or the word moot, M-O-O-T. Either of those is fine. Question 3, which Australian celebrity chef has several restaurants with the name Rockpool? That is Neil Perry, N-E-I-L space P-E-R-R-Y, Neil Perry. Question 4, which country has the 2-letter internet code DE, as Australia has AU? Is it Denmark? No, it's not. It is, of course, Germany. They refer to themselves as Deutschland, so they have the 2-letter code DE. Question 5, what's next in this sequence? Well, you probably figured it out. The sequence is actors playing Batman in live-action films. So we had Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and then Christian Bale. So the answer to question 5 is Christian Bale. Question 6, since 1972, the Melbourne Cup has been run over what distance? And for a bonus point, why did the distance change in 1972? Well, it's run over 3,200 meters. So the first point is 3,200 meters. And before that, it was 2 miles, which is 3.219. Sorry, 3,219 meters. But it was changed because Australia adopted the metric system in 1972. So the answer to question 6 is 3,200 meters. And for the bonus point, it's because of the metric system. It's a Royale with cheese. Question 7, rib, stretcher, tube, runner, and ferrule are all parts of which protective device? That is an umbrella, which is pretty simple. Umbrella, of course, taking its name from the word umbra, which means shadow. So umbrella means little shadow. Isn't that cute? Anyway, question 8, in relation to terrorism or the military, what does IED stand for? That's less cute. That is an improvised explosive device. So it's, when you have in what they call insurgent warfare, where you have an armed force armed to the teeth and super high-tech weaponry, and they're basically, it's very hard to battle an insurgent army which is hiding improvised explosives in things. Simone wrote incendiary explosive device, which is wrong. Incendiary would mean something that sets things on fire. I think that's what incendiary means. Incendiary rounds. Yeah, things that set things on fire. You can have 2/3 of a point if you like. But I think generally for acronyms you got to get all the letters right. So I'm going to say no points. Sorry, it has to be improvised explosive device. Okay, question 9. To the nearest 100 meters, how tall is Mount Everest above sea level? Well, it is 8,848 meters. So the answer is A. 8,800 meters is the nearest 100 meters. 8,848. All right, question 10. Due to his success on a particular playing surface, Rafael Nadal is known as the king of clay. He's the king of clay. I guess there weren't too many other options. What else? They played tennis on grass. Don't know. AstroTurf. Basketball courts. Roads. Question 11. What is the highest mountain outside of Asia? I'll be impressed if you got this, because, of course, most of the highest mountains are in the Himalayas, which are famously in Asia. So the mountain, which is the highest mountain outside of Asia and still in the world, is Aconcagua, Acon Cagua, Aconcagua. And off the top of my head, it's in South America. Let's check if the top of my head is correct. It is in the Andes in Argentina, which is in South America. Okay, so the answer is Aconcagua. Question 12. In 1925, what kind of animal was introduced to Australia in an attempt to control the spread of prickly pear and tiger pear cacti? It was, of course, a moth. It's Cactoblastus cactorum. It's a particular moth that likes to eat those prickly pears, but doesn't like to eat them enough to justify its existence, unfortunately. And was it then cane toads that were introduced? No, they came to eat a beetle, didn't they? Cane toad was introduced in Australia to eat the beetles threatening the sugarcane plantations. Okay. Anyway, that kind of stuff never works well. But who knows? Maybe the moth did. Answers on a postcard. Question 13. Apia is the capital of which Polynesian country? It is Samoa. Samoa. One of the 7 summits, says Daff. That's true. That's Aconcagua. Question 14. The Ponderosa Ranch was the setting of which TV Western? That was Bonanza. Bonanza, Bonanza. Question 15. What is the first line of Frank Sinatra's song New York, New York? I wanted 7 words, and they are: start spreading the news, I'm leaving today. Start spreading the news, I'm leaving today is the first line of Frank Sinatra's song New York, New York. Question 16. Which dock in Hobart is where they celebrate the Sydney to Hobart yacht race? That is Constitution Dock. Constitution Dock. Named after a boat called Constitution, I imagine. Question 17. What is the official currency of Malaysia? That is the Malaysian ringgit. 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 Just ringgit is fine. Question 18. In the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, what do his shipmates hang around the mariner's neck? They hang a dead albatross, because he shot the albatross, and then they entered a patch of dead, still, dead calm water, and they were stuck there. And we're all going to die. And they thought maybe if they hung the albatross around his neck, that would lift the curse or focus the curse on him. Anyway, and we still have that phrase. It became an albatross around his neck. So the answer to question 18 is an albatross, or a dead albatross. What flavor? Seabird bloody flavor. No, that's something else entirely. Question 19. In which year were the Bali bombings in which 88 Australian tourists were killed? We shouldn't laugh halfway through that question. It's pretty grim stuff. So the answer to that is 2002. There was a similar attack in 2005, which killed 20 people in total, of which 4 were Australians. But the answer to question 19 is 2002. And question 20, for 1 point each, name the 4 European capital cities beginning with V for Victor. I'll be very impressed if you get all of these. So they are, of course, Vienna was the easy one, which is the capital of Austria. Then we have Vaduz, which is the capital of Liechtenstein. Vaduz, V-A-D-U-Z. Then we have Valletta, V-A-L-E-T-T-A, which is the capital of Malta. And then we have Vilnius, V-I-L-N-I-U-S, which is the capital of Lithuania. So the answers for 1 full point each for question 20 are Vienna, Vaduz, Valletta, and Vilnius. And that's the end of round 2. Let me know how you went. Pierre got 3 out of 4. Missed Vaduz. Or Vaduz, possibly. Are we calling Vatican City a capital? I seem to remember actually when I asked this at the pub, we had the same problem. Vatican City is an independent city-state. Well, it says the capital is Vatican City, so okay, you can have Vatican City. If we look up Vatican City, it's listed as it's a city-state. I mean, are we calling it a country? It's a toughie. I'm going to say, why not? If you had Vatican City, you can have that as a point as well. It's a somewhat, there's a somewhat fidgy-widginess as to whether it's actually a country, but it definitely says right there on the wiki page, capital city, Vatican City. So regardless of its country status, it has a capital city, and that capital city is in Europe, and it's called Vatican City. So I'll allow it. Okay. Let me know how you went. I got a message from... I thought I had a message, but I don't. That's weird. Anyway, maybe my Facebook's getting confused. Okay, what are we up to? Caroline got 10. Pierrette got 6 again. Daff got 15. Ads got 13. Andrew got 15. Kim got 12. Simone got 15. Ads got 14 because of Vatican City, I assume. Andrew got 16 for the same reason. Carmen got 7. John got 6. Matt got 12. Pierre got 13. Lauren got 18. Wow. Smashed it. Stop trying to scab points, Stephen, says Carmen. The UN classify the Vatican as the smallest country. Yeah, fair enough, Daff. But I think the question of whether or not it's a country doesn't really matter, because even if it's a country or a city-state or whatever, it does have a capital city, and that capital city is in Europe, and it does begin with V. So therefore, it counts. So that's I guess you could have 5. If you were really clever, you could have 5 points for question 20, even though I only said 4 were on offer. Good. Anyway, with that many geography points on offer, I'm kind of wondering how our friends did. Haven't heard yet, anyway. But more importantly, Lauren has absolutely trounced Pierre in round 2. But let's see how we go in round 3. Okay. So round 3, as you know, is our silly / cripplingly difficult / trick question round. So if you don't get any points in this round, don't feel too bad. But I don't think it's too difficult this time. So let's get started. Round 3, question 1. The Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? Not a trick question. It's just very specific. Round 3, question 1. The Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? Should I give a bonus point? Because I happen to know off the top of my head the name of the horse that won the first Melbourne Cup. Why not? For a bonus point, you can tell me the name of the horse that won the first Melbourne Cup, which is probably easier than knowing the year. Let me just check that my brain is correct. I'm thinking that my brain is correct. Yes, my brain is correct. So, round 3, question 1. The Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? And for a bonus point, what is the name of the horse that won the race the first year? Question 2. What is Paul McCartney's middle name? Question 2. What is Paul McCartney's middle name? That being the famous Beatle, not any other Paul McCartney. Okay, Miguel, it's good of you to join us in round 3, but this is not that type of quiz. You don't need to type the answers into the chat. you're just sort of keeping score yourself, and yeah, you're basically playing against yourself or against the quiz or against your friends, but you're writing down the answers yourself. And then I give the answers at the end and you mark yourself. So nice to see you. Good of you to join us. But yeah, you don't need to type them into the chat. It's all right. No worries. You're not the first person to do that. So yes, question 3, round 1 was the Melbourne Cup is first run in which year, and what was the name of the horse that won? Question 2, what is Paul McCartney's middle name? Question 3, Amharic, Amharic, Amharic is the official language of which country? Question 3, Amharic, 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 don't know how you pronounce it, but it's the official language of which country? What are we up to? Gail is asking, hey Gail, you chat by typing into the YouTube window. If you can't chat, then possibly YouTube has required you to make a channel, which you can do by going into your settings. And anyway, you can just if you want to chat, you can just type on the chat window of Facebook. Or if you want to go into YouTube, you can set up a default channel in YouTube, and that should let you chat. It's kind of a YouTube rule. Sorry about that. Okay, what are we up to? Question 3 was Amharic is the official language of which country? Question 4, what are you doing when you nictate? Nictate. And don't feel too bad if you're just tuning in, as a few people have. This is round 3, which is meant to be a very difficult round. If you get any questions right in this round, you're doing pretty well. You've missed most of the evening when we started at 7:30, which was an hour ago, and we had about 40 questions before this. But anyway, you're welcome to join in next week, or watch all the old rounds on the YouTube channel. But question 4 was, what are you doing when you nictate? Nictate. The Facebook page is going crazy. No worries, Gail. Okay, what are we up to now? Question 5. Who was the first actor to play Doctor Who in the long-running TV series of the same name? Pretty standard trivia question. Question 5. Who was the first actor to play Doctor Who in the long-running TV series of the same name? So who was the first Doctor? I don't know what's happened, why we're suddenly getting linked from everywhere and so much chatting, but that's nice to see people. Question 6. What achievement do Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Leon Spinks, and Trevor Berbick all have in common? Question 6. What achievement do Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Leon Spinks, and Trevor Berbick all have in common? And again, don't feel too bad if you don't know what's going on in this round. This is round 3, which is our traditionally quite difficult round. If you get any points, you're doing pretty well. Question 7. What is the more common name for the zygomatic bone? Zygomatic, zygomatic. What's the more common name for the, zygomatic bone? So yes, I'm just reading out the questions, and then at the end of this round, when we get to 10 questions, I'll give you a minute or two to think about it, and then I'll give you the answers, and you can mark yourself. Or if you feel like Googling the answers as we go along, that's also fine as well, as long as you're having fun. Question 8. Which historic figure had the birth name Temujin Borjigin? How's my pronunciation? Temujin, Temujin Borjigin, Borjigin, Temujin Borjigin. I guess it's more commonly known as type question. But question 8, which historic figure had the birth name Temujin Borjigin? And what did we more commonly know that person as? Question 9. the 1940 Summer Olympics were cancelled due to the outbreak of World War II, which city were they originally intended to be held in? Question 9. The 1940 Summer Olympics were cancelled due to the outbreak of World War II. In which city were they originally intended to be held? And question 10. Gâteau is a French word for a type of cake. Please correctly spell the word gâteau, including the correct accent on the correct letter. So gâteau is a French word for a type of cake. Please correctly spell gâteau, including the correct accent on the correct letter. And for a bonus point, please correctly spell the French plural of the word gâteau. So question 10, gâteau is a French word for a type of cake. Please correctly spell gâteau, including the correct accent on the correct letter. Come on, it's round 3. It's the last question of round 3. For a bonus point, also spell the French plural of the word. Okay, that brings us to the end of round 3. So I'll give you a few seconds to think about those. If you need any of those repeated, let me know. Otherwise, in about 30 seconds or so, we'll start going through the answers. And if you are in that small rush of people who just joined and hit the Facebook page for whatever reason, some algorithmic thing made you all jump on the page, that's all cool. You're welcome to tune in. If you have a look on the YouTube channel, there are previous rounds from previous weeks that you can play through. There's about 10 of them up there now. And if you want to be informed of future events, go to the Facebook page Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz. That's Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz. Or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, or you can just tune in a little bit before 7:30 Sydney time. That's AEST, when I will put a YouTube live link on the Facebook page, and that will let you go to the quiz and join in. Goodbye. Okay, sorry, I'm saying goodbye to somebody who's randomly walking into my room. Okay, right, let's go through the answers to round 3 before I get invaded by children. So, question 3, round 1. The Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? And what was the name of the horse that won it? Well, it was first run in 1861, and the name of the horse is Archer, A-R-C-H-E-R, as in someone who shoots with a bow and arrow. And I'm pretty sure that horse came from Nowra, because I occasionally drive through Nowra, and there's a few references to Archer down there. But anyway, question 1, the Melbourne Cup was run in 1861, and the horse that won is Archer. Question 2, what is Paul McCartney's middle name? Bit of a standard trivia question, this one. His middle name is Paul, because his first name is James. He uses his middle name as his first name. So the answer to question 2, what is Paul McCartney's middle name? The answer is Paul. Question 3, Amharic is the official language of which country? Turns out it's Ethiopia. So Amharic is the official language of Ethiopia. Question 4, what are you doing when you... Peter tells me that Archer won in 1861 and 1862. Well done. Question 4, what are you doing when you nictate? It sounds like you're smoking or something, but no, nictate is just to blink or to wink, or basically to close your eyes. Your eyelids are, if you think about a cat, cats have like the normal upper eyelid and lower eyelid. They also have a sort of third eyelid that goes across their eye. That's called the nictating membrane. But when you nictate, you're basically just winking or blinking. Question 5, who was the first actor to play Doctor Who? Another standard trivia question. The answer is William Hartnell, Hartnell, played him from 1963 to 1966. William Hartnell. All right, question 6. Did you get this one? I think the second name is a bit of a giveaway, but anyway. What achievement do Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Leon Spinks, and Trevor Berbick have in common? Those 5 people are the only people who managed to defeat Muhammad Ali in professional boxing matches. So question 6, they are the only people to defeat Muhammad Ali in professional boxing matches. Question 7, what's the more common name for the zygomatic bone? Yeah, I think if you say knockout, that's fine. As in they knocked him out of the match, that's fine. Question, I think as long as you said Muhammad Ali, that's fine. Question 7, the zygomatic bone, that is this bone here. It's your cheekbone. It's sort of along the bottom of your eye socket, but it's your cheekbone. It's called your cheekbone. Question 8, which historic figure had the birth name Temujin Borjigin? Well, we know him as Genghis Khan. I don't know. So Khan is obviously a word meaning king or leader. I don't know what Genghis means. Maybe it's a nickname, or maybe it means like terrible or fearsome or great. Don't know. But anyway, answers on a postcard. Question 8, the answer is Genghis Khan. Question 9, the 1940 Summer Olympics were cancelled due to the outbreak of World War II. Which city were they originally intended to be held in? It's Tokyo. They're going to be held in Tokyo, which is some analogs to the present, the 2020 Summer Olympic Games that were going to be held in Tokyo, but have basically been, well, we'll say postponed until next year at this stage. And finally, question 10, gâteau is a French word for a type of cake. Please correctly spell gâteau, including the correct accent on the correct letter. Okay, so you needed to have G-A-T-E-A-U with a circumflex on the first A, which is the little squiggle. It's like it's not the Shift 6 character, but it's basically that character. G-A-T-E-A-U with a circumflex above the first A. So that's 1 point. And then the bonus point is basically that word with an X, as in X-ray on the end. So gâteau, plural of gâteau is gâteau. It's probably pronounced ghetto as well, but it has an X on the end. Okay, the Facebook page is going crazy. All right, let me know how you went in round 3. 2 for Caroline, 3 for Simone. So moderately difficult third round. 2 for Andrew. I think you should get at least, I would say at least 3, because 3 of the answers were typed into the chat. Related Matt got 5, thanks to the last bonus point. Daff got 1. Ads got 4. Carmen got 0 out of 1. That's impressive. And Peter got 8. Peter just messaged saying he's been to all those V cities, but he convinced himself that I said B. I did say V for Victor, not B for Victor. Anyway, Simone got 35 all up out of a possible score of I don't know how many. Pierre got 4. Lauren got 5. Andrew got 35 all up as well. Okay, so that's the end of the normal questions. And then at the end, we have a who am I or 2, which you can use as tiebreakers if you like. I think I'm only going to do 1 this week because I didn't get around to doing the other one, and I'm going to have to kind of wing it. It's going to be a slightly difficult one because they were easy last week. So we're going to make a slightly difficult one this week just for laughs. Why not? Elated Matt got 30.5. Carmen got 15.5. John got 18.5. Don't know what happened to Narelle and Stephen. They sort of fell off. Here we go. Stephen 16, Narelle 15. Narelle is 0.5 ahead at the end of the second round. It's all going to come down to the final round. Anyway, Pierre got 33. Okay. So the way this final question works, this is a who am I? So I'm going to read out clues about someone as we go along. Someone or something. And if you think you know the answer at any point, have a crack at it. If you get it right, then you win the tiebreaker. If you get it wrong, then you lose the tiebreaker and the other person wins. So you want to be fast, but you want to be correct. But if you're not playing a tiebreaker, then just have a crack at it. See how you go. This one is, I'm going to say, is a little bit difficult because last week's ones I think were pretty easy. Or for whatever other reason, I'm making it difficult this week. Why not? So here we go. Who am I? Lauren got 37.5. Duff got 31.5. Well, Lauren got 37.5. What did Pierre get? What was the final score? I don't know if he's even listed his final score. 33. There you go. Well done, Lauren. Okay. Who am I? I am a city. I was founded in 1270 AD and granted city status in 1340. I slowly grew into a major logistic and economic center. I have a population of about 650,000 in the city proper and 1.4 million in the urban area. The city center was destroyed in World War II, resulting in a varied architectural landscape unique even in my own country. I boast the 10th busiest cargo port in the world and the busiest in Europe. That information might be a couple of years out of date, but it's probably still pretty close. I was voted European City of the Year in 2015 by the Academy of Urbanism. My strategic location on the North Sea and near to the delta of 3 major rivers, along with well-developed road and rail links, have earned me the nickname the Gateway to Europe, or for Europeans, the Gateway to the World. We're just typing random European cities into chat now. My origin, and the origin of my name, comes from the building of a dam across a major river. I am the second biggest city in Holland. I am Rotterdam. Very good. Andrew got Rotterdam, and well done if you got it at home. People who said Amsterdam early on, you're out. You're out of there. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the quiz. Hope you had fun. Hamburg. It's not even the right country. Okay. Yep. Hope you had fun. If you were playing for the first time tonight, feel free to come along next week and we'll do the same thing again with different questions, obviously. So feel free to like the Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz Facebook page. Thanks again, but more importantly, how was the beer? I'm going to say fairly unremarkable. It's all right. It doesn't taste very yeah, I mean, I guess it's all right. It's nothing to write home about. I guess when you have a dark beer, you're sort of mentally comparing it to things like Guinness and James Squire Porter and other good ones like that. Anyway, good night, Andrew. Good night, Joanne. So, Narelle, did Stephen win? That's the big question. Okay. So, yep. Not much more to say. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you had fun. And Peter says you came in late but still enjoyed it. No worries, Peter. Glad you had fun. I win again, Pierre. Okay. Well, on that note, I'm going to end it. Hope you had fun. Tune in next week and stay safe in the meantime. Bye.